Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around these parts, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I make all sorts of homeschool content for you. I do book reviews and I throw in some family vlogs every now and again too. So just introduce myself for all my new followers. My name is Marika and I live on the west coast of Australia with my hubby Greg, and we have 4 kiddos. We have Will, who is 12, we have Anne, who is 7, we have Crew, who is 5, and we have little Jackson, who is 3 years old. And this is our second year homeschooling. Before I homeschool my children, I am a teacher, an early childhood teacher to be specific, but now I homeschool my children and I'm absolutely loving it. And I started this channel because I just wanted to share my homeschooling journey with you and just share the resources and the things that we do in our home, or that we've tried and failed or has succeeded, just to help you out if you are a homeschooling family as well. So again, thank you so much for subscribing and for watching my videos. So today I'm going to talk to you about all of the things that I like to use for my toddler when I'm homeschooling my older children. And so last week's video was kind of the tips and tricks that I use with my toddler when I'm homeschooling. So I have 3 children who I'm homeschooling, and then I have Jack, who is 3 years old. And sometimes homeschooling when you've got smaller children in the house can be a little bit more complicated. And so I just did a video on some of the things that we do to entertain my toddler while we are busy doing schoolwork with the older children. And so I will leave a link to that video in the description box down below and throw a card up the top here too, if you would like to watch that video for some more tips and tricks on homeschooling with a toddler. And for today, I'm just going to go through some of the resources that I have that we use with our 3-year-old. So this is our homeschool space, and I do have a homeschool room video tour as well, which I can pop a link in the description box down below for you to have a look at. So this is our homeschool space, and it's actually in our living room. So we have our living room down this end, and then this end of the room is our dedicated homeschool area. So we have a computer there. My oldest son likes to play Xbox as well. We have our table here that we all sit around at when we homeschool. We've got storage across the back here, and then this little shelf down here is specifically just for my toddler. And so I've popped it here because this is my chair here. I sit at this spot at our table, and all the kids kind of gather around here. So that's why I have put the shelf right next to where I sit, so that, because Jackson just likes to be where I am. And so he will take things off of the shelf and play with them on the floor here, or he'll come and sit with us at the table or sit on my lap, or sometimes he will go down and sit on the carpet or on the couch. And so that's where I've kind of got it located in our homeschool room. Okay, so everything that Jack is allowed to use is located on these shelves. This is just the cube storage unit from IKEA, nothing fancy. I would love to have everything I would love to have like bigger shelves and have all of the puzzles out and all those kind of things. But because our homeschool space is in our living room and we can't shut it off, when I have visitors that come over with toddlers and little kids, they tend to pull everything off of the shelves. And so it wasn't working for me having kind of everything laid out. So I will show you what I do to kind of combat that. So I just have this simple 4 cubed unit, and everything that Jackson has access to is kind of on the top 2 shelves and then just sitting up here. And the bottom 2 shelves down here is just purely for storage. As I said, I can't have everything out because our visitors come over and puzzle pieces end up all over the place, and it just takes a long time for us to pack up. So I'm finding that this is much more helpful for me at the moment. And so I just have these storage tubs, which I've labeled, and these are just from Kmart Australia. They are just a pack of 4 storage containers. I can link them down below for you. And they're just see-through so you can see what's in them. And I've just popped some washi tape on there and written what's in the containers. And I've just stored, I've just stored all of the puzzles and things that we have. This one is fine motor. So everything I have just stored in this container, and I stack it on the shelf here. And my toddler just knows that these things are not for him to touch. They are just storage. But everything that he's allowed to have for the week is on these top 2 shelves. And so what I do is I've just got a collection of things here that he can use, and each week I will change those over. So I'll pop them back into the storage containers. I'll get a new set of games and things out and pop them back on that shelf for him. So he knows to come each day and he can take these things off. He brings them down, plays with them on the floor or at the table, and then he knows how to pack them all away and pop them back onto the shelf. Okay, so everything that he has access to, as I said, is on these 2 shelves. We do have something up the top here. And then also, if you can see that just there, next to the shelf as well, I have a whiteboard and a chalkboard, and he knows that he can use that as well. I'll just show you what he has out this week that he can play with. So up the top here, just in this sweet little linen basket that I just have the Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head set, which we have had since my oldest was little, so they're about 12 years old now. But this is great. He loves to play with this, and these are great fine motor activities. So Jackson is 3, next year he's 4, and he's going to be starting kindergarten and learning to write and colour and use scissors and all those kind of fun things. So activities like this are really great for strengthening his fingers. Pulling and pushing these bits and pieces into Mr. Potato Head is really great. So we have that set, which is just sitting up the top for him. And then in this basket, I just have one of those like little wooden fishing sets. So he can put the little pieces together. He pops the little animals in the little fish tank, and he has this little magnetic rod that he uses to fish the things out. So he has that in there this week. He has a wooden numbers puzzle that he can get down and use. And then we have magnetic letters, and he will play with these and he will pop them onto the whiteboard that's sitting next to the shelf here. He likes to take them out and just take them on and off the whiteboard. Really simple, but something that distracts him for a little while. So that's what's on that shelf. And then on the shelf next here, I've got some more things standing up that he can use. We've just got this little magnetic alphabet puzzle. Basically in the little channels here, there's little balls, and he just takes the little magnet and he just rolls it through. Again, this is really great fine motor activity, but because it's the alphabet, he's kind of learning at the same time. Then we just have this right on board. You've probably seen these before. We have unfortunately lost all the little magnets that come on the side here, but that doesn't matter. He still likes to use this, so he'll get this down and do some drawing on there. And then of course we have got a whole lot of books. I always have the books out for him to look at because he loves storybooks, and all these books on these shelves are his, and he can get them down and read them at any time. And they are board books, so they're the hard cardboard, so I'm not worried about pages being torn and things like that. Those ones are kind of kept on another shelf that we read together, but these are all his books that he can get down and read. And so I always have books sitting on the shelf for him to read. All of the resources that I have for Jackson to use and my other children are very inexpensive. They are just from Kmart Australia, some from Big W, and probably some from Target Australia as well. They are our 3 major department stores here in Australia. So all of the products are always ready available. They're good quality and they're a really great price. And so I don't have anything fancy from educational stores or online or anything like that. Most of the stuff I have just picked up from Kmart Australia, and some of this is still relevant. So you may be able to find these in store if you see anything that you like and you'd like to add to your collection. So what I thought I would just do now is just show you some of the favorite things that we have in our collection that Jack loves to play with. I've shown you a few that he has out this week, and I will just get out a few more and show you some of the great resources that we have to entertain our 3-year-old. So all of the resources, as I said, I keep in these plastic boxes, and I just take them out and pop them on the shelf for him to use. And so some of the things that we really love from Kmart Australia is this alphabet puzzle. I know they have one of these in Target Australia too as well, if you're wanting to look at. But basically I store the board like this on the shelf because it's too big to fit in my box. But then I just store the letters in a plastic bag in this container. So here is the bag of letters. I have just reused this plastic bag over and over again, so it's nothing fancy that they're stored in. I just try and use these bags as much as I can before they hit the bin. And so they're all of the wooden letters, and so he'll get the bag out and he'll get the board out and he will do the puzzle. So that's a really great one that we really love. Really durable, obviously, because they are wooden puzzle pieces. Another one that he loves to play with is this numbers clock. Again, I just store it like this, and then I have, find it. Then I have the wooden numbers just again in one of these Ziploc bags, which has just been used over and over and over again. So he'll get these out and he will play with those. Again, really great for shapes. As you can see, the numbers are on shapes. And so he loves playing with the clock. So my older children use this clock for learning how to tell the time, but my 3-year-old is just using it for a puzzle. Another great thing that he loves to use is actually stamps. And I have this alphabet set, and then I also have this set as well, which is numbers. And I think these are also from Kmart Australia. I picked them up, but I know you can get them in discount variety stores as well. So he will use those, again, just playing with them. He'll grab out a scrap piece of paper and play with the stamps. And so that keeps him entertained for ages. So that's another really great thing to use. The next sort of stuff I've got for you is in what I call my fine motor collection. So anything that is like puzzles or using his little fingers to do things, they are really, really great activities for toddlers. As I said, you really want to be developing their finger strength, getting ready to hold a pencil and write and all those kind of things. And so all of my puzzles I have gotten from Kmart Australia. They always have great little wooden puzzles that they have. Some of these are old, you might not be able to find them, but they've got new ones in store. So we just, I just picked up some puzzles on the themes that we were working on in our homeschool with our older children. So when we were doing a marine biology unit, I just picked up this, like, I think it's $1 or $2 puzzle from Kmart, which is an underwater scene. So they are really, really great. And then I showed you the number puzzles that has the little like things on there that they can use that as well. And so they have alphabet ones of those and number ones of those as well in Kmart Australia. So they're really, really good. And then we do have just these, again, really simple puzzles with the little wooden handles on. He's been using those for a few years now, and so it doesn't play with those ones as much. Now he's kind of graduated on to the next stage up from these little wooden pull ones, which I'll just show you. This is a wooden puzzle set that I got from Kmart Australia. I think I actually bought this for one of the kids for their birthdays. And so the wooden top just slides off. So you can arrange the puzzle pieces on the top here, but it just slides off. And then there is a set of, there's actually 5. There's a set of puzzles on the inside. So you can see they're divided into the little, to their little puzzle pieces. But don't get too anxious. You're like, what if they get mixed up? They have helped you out by putting shapes on the back of the pieces. And so this particular puzzle has all the squares on the back. And then this puzzle has all the circles on the back. This one is blank, so that if they do get all mixed up, you can rearrange them back. And so that is just a wooden puzzle with 5 different scenes, and so he likes to use those now. And because it comes with this little slide lid, I can actually store it on its side on the shelf, so that's that's handy. But that is a really great puzzle set, and again, really inexpensive, just from Kmart Australia. If I can find links to these things, I will pop them down in the description box down below so that you can go and check them out for yourself. A couple of other fine motor activities that we have that are really, really great. Again, these are from Kmart Australia, are just these lacing boards. And it comes with 4 different animals, and then 4 different laces. And so they, this one has been done, but the idea is that they just take the little lace and they're just going in and out all the way around the shape. So this is really great for fine motor skills or even beginning sewing is really, really great. So isn't that just the sweetest? I know I bought this one I think last year. I know they still have these in Kmart, but I think they might just be different wooden characters than the one I've got, but they are so cute. My daughter, last year she was 6 and she was still loving using those. So they are really great for a fine motor activity. And another one I got is just this magnet set. We haven't opened it yet, but it's just wooden magnetic animals, and I will just pop them into a container and he will just take them out and pop them onto the whiteboard that we have. He loves playing with magnets, so I just thought that was a cute little thing that he would really like to do. All right, I have got the man himself who has just come to join us. This is Jackson. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Okay, another thing that I have here that we really, really love, not from Kmart Australia. This is a Melissa and Doug one, which I believe I purchased online. If I can find a link, I will pop it in the description box for you. I did buy this for my oldest son, but my toddler loves to use it as well. It just comes with the wooden geometric shapes, and then I'm just going to slide these off. Then these wooden boards that are double-sided, and so that comes with pictures on, and so he can grab a shape, grab a board and then match the shapes onto there. So he really enjoys playing with this, and this is great because this keeps him entertained for ages doing these pictures, and so he will take this and sit at the table with us and play. What I have done with him is actually taught him how to use each of the things properly and then how to pack them up and put them away. Don't expect that your toddler will know how to use all these things or take care of them. You actually do need to teach them how to do that. So we did have a process of taking the things out and showing him how it is to be used, how you play with it, and then but in that, I'm not saying that's the only way to play with it, because he will then take these shapes and make his own pictures. And so that's okay. It's not that there's one way, but just kind of giving him an idea of how you can use it. And then I do teach him how to pack away as well, so he doesn't just leave it sitting on the floor at the table. Sometimes he will forget and he'll go and play somewhere else, but I call him back and say, could you please pack that up for me? And he knows for this one, for example, to put all the shapes back in this side, all of the pictures back in this side, and carry it over and put it on the shelf. So it's really important, I find, just to teach them that. That's all sorts of life skills wrapped up in there, and that's just helpful for me because he's packing up after himself. Because remember, he's doing all of this while I'm busy with my older children homeschooling them. So it's really important to show them the materials, teach them some ideas of how they could use it, and then teach them how to pack it up and put it back on the shelf, and that will save you a lot of time packing up and all that kind of stuff. So that's just a little tip that we use in our house. Now, as I said, we always have books for him to read. He loves books, and so just words are really hard. Just a tip with books is I recommend for your toddlers getting board books. Then you're not worried about pages getting broken and things like that. And so we love Usborne books in our homeschool. So we have a collection of Usborne books on our shelf, and you can just get these from Target Australia, Big W and Kmart Australia, as well as online, but they're a lot cheaper in the department stores, I have found. And so these are just great because they are hardcover, and then the pages are also thick cardboard or board. And then if they have flaps, which a lot of the Usborne books do, that's why my kids love them, for their beautiful pictures and their flaps. And so you'll see here, here are the flaps here. The flaps are really sturdy, and so I really like that. He has taken some of the flaps off. They're not completely toddler proof, but they are really good. And so we have lots of these beautiful Usborne books on our shelf that have the lift the flaps because they love those. And so we have these two that I know we just purchased recently from Target, so they will be in Target. We had this series as well, which I got from, these were from Kmart maybe at the beginning of the year last year. These are really, really great. The Peep Inside series. There's Peep Inside a Tree, Peep Inside the Farm, Peep Inside the Zoo, and Peep Inside the Sea. And as I said, they are board, so they're nice and thick. They do have flaps, and again, the flaps are great. This one has been taken off, as you can see. Not completely toddler proof, but they are pretty good. And so these books are really, really cute, and he loves looking at these on his own. So board books, definitely have those for your kiddos to read. And again, just teach them, the great learning point, teaching them how to take care of books, how to store them on the shelf, how to turn pages carefully, and then just talking about if a flap does come off, hey, this is what happens if you're too heavy-handed. So we went through that process with Jack, and now he doesn't rip any of the flaps off now because he has learnt from experience, and he doesn't want his beautiful, because they're his, he doesn't want his books to be ruined, so he doesn't do it anymore. So after these ones, we did purchase these ones, kind of the next step up, and he's treating these really, really great. So it's very important that you still, that you're just teaching them along the way. Some other books that we have on our shelf that he loves is just alphabet books is always great to have, and any number and counting books. I have this one, which is from when my 12-year-old or maybe my 7-year-old was little. And so this is quite old, but it's one of their favorites. They love these, and he can actually get this now and read it to me. So he'll say 3 bunnies, 7 butterflies. And so he really, really loves that. And another one, which is a favorite, is Where is the Green Sheep by Mem Fox. Every kid that I've had that I've taught, or every kid that I have in my home loves this book. We've actually had multiple copies of this book, and so this is a great one because now we've read it so much to him, and he's looked at the pictures so many times he can actually read me the story. So that is a great book. And another one of his favorite books, which is not on the shelf, it must be in his room, sorry, is the Caterpillar book, he calls it, which is actually Eric Carle's Very Hungry Caterpillar. So he loves that book, and that's usually on our shelf as well. So they're just some of our favorite books that we love to read. We do have other books in our homeschool, which is just pick this off the big kid shelf for me to read, but the ones that are on his shelf are just for him to get down and read. All right, the last two things that are really great that I just wanted to share with you that we use to entertain Jackson is our whiteboards and chalkboards. And so I have them sitting here. As you can see, we have this nice big, just a second, let me finish this. We have this nice big whiteboard that I purchased to use for something else, but we've ended up using it in our homeschool. And then just this cute little chalkboard. Can you get the chalkboard for me? Sure we can show everybody? Yep, pick it up. Good job. So this little chalkboard I purchased recently from Kmart Australia, and it's just chalk on this side and then it's a whiteboard on this side. And so this is great. So we have just a little container of chalk that he can get out and he can do some drawings on here. And I also have some whiteboard markers that he loves to use whiteboard markers. And so I have a cheap set of those that he can use and he will draw on here, or he can, this is magnetic, so he can use the magnets on here as well. We have letter magnets and number magnets that my older children use, and so he'll grab those off the shelf and he'll use those as well. And he has his own little board that I can stand up against the wall and use if he would like, or he can actually pick this up and take it to the homeschool table or to the lounge room and use that as well. So getting this little whiteboard and chalkboard is super great for our toddlers as well. Okay, so that was a look at all the resources that we have and that we love for our toddler, Jackson, in our house. I hope that you found that video helpful. Again, any of the products that I can link down below in the description box, I will. And I'll also throw those description for that other video that I made last week of how I entertain a toddler while I'm homeschooling. And you can find lots of different homeschooling videos on my channel as well. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I will see you next time. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.